Have you ever felt like your words don't create the impact you imagine? Like you say something, but the listener doesn't truly feel it. Like your voice comes out, but your message remains trapped in the air. Many people face this silent struggle without even realizing it. They wish to express themselves beautifully, yet end up sounding unsure. And this gap between intention and expression makes opportunities slip away. The truth is, communication is not just about words. It is the bridge that connects your inner world with the outside world. When this bridge is weak, everything on the other side feels distant, unclear, and almost unreachable no matter how hard you try. Imagine standing in front of a crowd with your heart full of thoughts, but your lips hesitating to form them into sentences. Imagine being in a conversation where you want to sound confident, but your pauses and scattered tone make you appear unsure. This is not just about public speaking. It is about every interaction, from talking to a colleague to expressing feelings to a loved one, from presenting your ideas in front of someone who could change your career, to simply sharing a thought in a way that others remember. Communication is everywhere. It is like oxygen for relationships and success. Yet most people breathe it unconsciously without realizing its power. When you cannot express your thoughts clearly, people don't only miss your words, they miss your ideas, your potential, and your inspiring version. But when you master communication, even the simplest message becomes powerful. Even an ordinary conversation leaves a lasting impression. Even silence between your words carries meaning, and people start listening to you beyond the surface. Think about it. The people who influence you the most are not always the smartest. They are often the ones who know how to deliver thoughts beautifully. They may speak with pauses, they may use stories, they may change their tone, but what they truly do is make you feel connected. And connection is the soul of communication. It is the thread that ties your words to another person's heart. You too can achieve this, but it begins with a journey, a slow transformation where you train yourself step by step, learning to listen deeply, to speak with clarity, to express with confidence, and to connect with authenticity. So, in the next few minutes, you and I will walk together on this journey, exploring not just tips, but the real psychology of human interaction. Because communication is not about throwing words into the air, it is about planting them into the heart of another person. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey you will not just talk better, you will discover how to connect deeper and influence stronger. You will learn how to express the real you in ways people remember, long after the words themselves have faded away. The first step towards improving your communication skills is awareness. Because you cannot change something you are not even aware of. Most people think they are good listeners, but in reality they are just waiting for their turn to speak. True communication begins not with your mouth, but with your ears and your attention. When you listen deeply, you hear not just the words, but the emotions, the pauses, and the unspoken feelings behind them. This creates trust because the other person feels understood, and trust is the foundation where powerful conversations grow. Think of a time when someone truly listened to you. You felt lighter, respected, and more open to share. that same feeling is what you must give to others, and in return, they will open their hearts to your words. Another mistake people make is focusing only on vocabulary, while ignoring tone, body language, and expression. Words carry meaning, but your voice carries emotion, and emotion is what makes your message stay alive in memory. When your face shows confidence, your eyes maintain contact, and your tone rises and falls naturally, people lean in closer. But if your body is stiff, your tone is flat, and your eyes wander away, your words lose their power. Improving communication means practicing awareness of your delivery, not just memorizing the words you want to say. Take small steps, like recording your own voice, then listening carefully to where it sounds confident and where it shakes. Notice your habits, the fillers like or you know, and work slowly to replace them with pauses and silence. Silence, when used with intention, is not weakness. It is strength because it gives weight to your words. When you pause, people reflect, and in that moment your message settles deeper inside them. Confidence grows not by removing fear instantly, but by practicing small moments of courage again and again. Start with simple conversations where the risk is low, like greeting someone warmly or sharing your opinion politely. Each small success builds your inner belief, and this belief slowly transforms into natural confidence. Remember, communication is a skill, not a talent, and like any skill, it improves with consistent practice. Every time you speak with awareness, every time you listen deeply, you are taking one step closer to mastery. And the more you practice this balance of listening and expressing, the more people will feel drawn to your presence. So begin with awareness of how you speak and how you listen, because without awareness there can be no real improvement. This journey is not about changing who you are. It is about unlocking the communicator that already lives within you. Once you build awareness of your communication, the next step is clarity, because unclear words create confusion, while clear words create connection. Clarity is not about using difficult vocabulary or long sentences. It is about expressing your thought in the simplest way possible. When your message is simple, people understand quickly. And when they understand quickly, they remember it longer. Think of great speakers throughout history. Their words were simple yet powerful, clear yet unforgettable. They didn't try to impress with complexity. They tried to connect with simplicity. So whenever you speak, ask yourself one question. Will the other person understand this exactly as I mean it? If the answer feels uncertain, pause and reframe your words, because misunderstanding destroys more than weak vocabulary ever will. You can practice clarity by breaking big ideas into small pieces and explaining them as if you were talking to a friend. Use examples, use stories, use comparisons from everyday life, because the mind remembers stories far more than plain facts. For instance, instead of saying communication is important, say communication is like oxygen, invisible but keeping everything alive. This creates an image in the listener's mind, and images stay longer than abstract sentences. Another part of clarity is being mindful of your pace. Because speaking too fast makes words blur and lose their weight. Slow down just enough for people to follow, but not so slow that it feels like hesitation. The right pace makes your speech sound confident, and confidence makes your message feel trustworthy. Along with pace, your choice of words matters deeply, because complicated terms build distance while simple words build closeness. It is not about lowering your intelligence, it is about raising your connection. When you choose simple words, you invite more people in, and when more people feel included, your influence grows wider. Clarity also comes from organizing your thoughts before speaking. Even a few seconds of mental order changes the whole delivery. Instead of rushing into words, breathe, structure your thought, and then express it with calmness and control. People value not only what you say, but also the way you take responsibility for how you say it. The clearer your words, the stronger your impact. And the stronger your impact, the more people remember you. So clarity is not just a communication tool, it is the bridge that turns thoughts into unforgettable expressions. And once you learn to make clarity your habit, your words will no longer float away, they will land with power. After clarity, the next step in improving communication is confidence, because even the best words lose power if they are spoken with fear. Confidence is not about being loud or dominating. It is about being steady, calm, and sure of your own message. When you believe in what you are saying, others will naturally start believing in you. But if your voice shakes and your eyes avoid contact, people sense hesitation before they even hear your words. Confidence grows from preparation and practice, not from wishing that fear will magically disappear. When you prepare your thoughts, your examples, your message, your brain feels safe and your voice becomes stable. Even small preparation, like rehearsing aloud once, can change the way your words come out in real situations. Another way to build confidence is through body language, because your body often speaks louder than your mouth. Stand tall, keep your shoulders relaxed, and let your hands move naturally to support your words. When your body is open and not closed off, you signal trust and invite connection instantly. Eye contact is another powerful tool. It makes people feel you are honest and engaged. But balance is important. Don't stare too intensely. Instead, shift your eyes naturally between listeners. This creates warmth rather than pressure. And warmth is what makes people comfortable around you. Remember, confidence does not mean perfection. It means accepting mistakes without letting them control you. Even great speakers forget lines, but they recover with a smile and move forward smoothly. That recovery itself shows strength, because people respect courage more than flawless delivery. Confidence also grows when you take small daily risks, like speaking up in a meeting or asking a thoughtful question. Each small risk adds a layer of self-trust, and this self-trust turns into natural courage over time. Your voice is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger and clearer it becomes. So don't wait for the perfect day to feel confident. Start with today. Start with the next conversation you have. Step by step, moment by moment, you will feel your confidence shaping into second nature. And when confidence joins clarity and awareness, your communication begins to shine with real impact. Because people don't just hear your words anymore. They start to feel your presence and your energy. Once you develop confidence, the next key to powerful communication is empathy. Because without empathy, your words may sound sharp, but they won't touch hearts. Empathy means understanding the feelings behind the words. It is the ability to step into another person's shoes before replying. When you speak with empathy, people feel valued. And when people feel valued, they listen to you more openly. Think of the difference between someone who lectures you coldly and someone who guides you gently while respecting your emotions. The second one always stays in memory longer, because their words carried kindness along with meaning. Empathy in communication starts with mindful listening, paying attention not just to words, but also to tone and body language. Sometimes what is left unsaid speaks louder than what is spoken, and noticing that difference makes your response far more powerful. For example, if someone says, "I'm fine," with a heavy voice, empathy makes you pause and sense that they are not truly fine. When you acknowledge that hidden feeling gently, you create trust and show that your connection goes deeper than surface words. Empathy also teaches you to choose your words carefully, because you realize that words can heal or they can hurt. Even in disagreement, empathy helps you stay respectful, so that the discussion doesn't break relationships, but strengthens understanding. You don't always have to agree to be empathetic. You only need to respect the human being behind the opinion. When people feel respected, even in disagreement, they are more likely to respect your perspective in return. This is how empathy transforms conflicts into dialogue, and dialogue is where real growth and solutions appear. Another part of empathy is adjusting your communication style, because not everyone understands in the same way. With children, you use simple, patient words. With professionals, you may use precise, structured language. But in both cases, your tone must remain warm, because tone carries the real message more than vocabulary. Empathy also makes you a better storyteller, because stories connect when they reflect the listener's emotions. When your audience feels you understand their struggles, they become more eager to hear your solutions. That is why leaders, teachers, and mentors all practice empathy, because without it, their message would feel distant and cold. So the more you practice empathy, the more your communication will begin to touch not just minds, but hearts. And when you can touch hearts as well as minds, your influence grows naturally without force. Empathy is not weakness, it is hidden strength, because it allows your words to carry both logic and love together. As empathy strengthens your connection, the next step is adaptability, because no single style of communication works for every situation. A good communicator knows when to be formal and when to be casual, when to speak in detail and when to keep it short and sharp. Adaptability means reading the room and adjusting your tone so that your words fit the moment instead of fighting against it. For example, in a professional meeting you may speak with structure, but at a family gathering you relax and use warmth in your words. Both styles are correct because they fit the situation, and this flexibility makes you more relatable to different people. Adaptability also means adjusting your energy, because sometimes people need motivation and sometimes they need calmness. If you bring high energy to someone feeling low, you may overwhelm them instead of lifting them. But if you first match their emotional level gently, then raise it slowly, your impact becomes positive and lasting. Another part of adaptability is knowing your audience, because the same message changes depending on who hears it. Explaining an idea to children requires playful examples, but explaining it to adults requires logic and clear evidence. When you adjust your words to the listener's world, they feel that you truly understand them and trust you more. Adaptability also protects you from frustration, because when someone doesn't respond as expected, you can change approach. Instead of forcing your way, you find a new way, and that skill makes you a communicator who never feels stuck. This flexibility shows emotional intelligence, and emotional intelligence is the hidden secret of lasting influence. Adaptability also helps in handling difficult conversations, where emotions are strong and words must be chosen carefully. By slowing down, softening your tone, and giving space to the other person, you prevent conflict from rising. This does not mean you hide your truth. It means you express it in a way that the other person can receive. Even in moments of disagreement, adaptable communication builds bridges, because you focus on solutions instead of winning arguments. Practice adaptability by observing different conversations daily. Notice how people respond to tone, words, and timing. Then experiment by slightly changing your approach, and see how even small shifts create a big difference. The more you practice this art of adjustment, the more natural and effortless your communication becomes. Because true communication is not about rigid performance. It is about fluid connection that bends yet never breaks. And when you master adaptability, you become a voice that people welcome in every situation. Now that you have learned awareness, clarity, confidence, empathy, and adaptability, the final step in mastering communication is consistency and practice. Because skills are not built by one-time effort. They are shaped through small, repeated actions every single day. Every conversation you have is a chance to improve, whether it is with a friend, a stranger, or even with yourself. When you practice speaking with awareness daily, your habits slowly turn into natural strengths without extra effort. Think of athletes who train their bodies regularly. You must train your voice, your tone, and your words in the same way. Read aloud for a few minutes every day. Record your voice and listen to how it truly sounds. Practice pausing at the right places, and practice removing unnecessary filler words. Observe good communicators and learn from their delivery. But never copy their style completely. Find your own voice. Because your uniqueness is what makes you memorable, and authenticity is more powerful than imitation. Remember that mistakes are not signs of weakness. They are stepping stones that polish your growth. Every time you speak and stumble, you are still moving forward, still improving. Don't wait for the perfect stage to showcase your skills. Start where you are and grow as you go. Speak in small groups, then larger ones, and eventually your voice will carry itself with ease. Consistency also means practicing empathy regularly, because empathy loses power if it is not genuine in daily life. Adaptability also strengthens only through constant use, when you shift styles naturally in different settings. Over time, your communication becomes not just a skill, but a part of your personality that people admire. You will notice people listening more carefully, responding more warmly, and trusting you more deeply. And this change will not only help in career or studies, it will improve your relationships, your influence, and your confidence. Because communication is the golden thread, it ties together success, connection, and personal growth. So commit to practicing it every single day, because with time, practice turns into mastery. And once communication mastery becomes a part of you, your words will no longer just be heard, they will be remembered. Your presence will no longer just be noticed, it will be felt, valued, and welcomed everywhere you go.